Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the NASCAR Vernors Cup Series. Last time out was a race at Pikes Peak, won by George Lazenby's third career win and his first since early last season. This time out, we're at the Kansas Speedway under the lights. This is sure to be an exciting race. Here, dusk on a Sunday night here at Kansas. Local company decided to come on board and sponsor us this week, based right out near Kansas City. The first time sponsoring NASCAR in 3 years, and man, are we welcome to have them back. It's the Sprint 400. Yes, Sprint is back. Yay! So, before we get any further, let's go through the points situation. Bob Ross, your points leader by 76 over Harrison Ford. This is race number 30 of 36. Morgan Freeman and Peter Perfect both also mathematically able to catch Bob Ross by the end of this race. They are both 127 points back. But we got to go through our starting lineup for the Sprint 400. It's an all-Tom front row as Tom Hanks is going to start next to Tom Jones, who picks up his third pole of the year. Then it's Kathy Bates in the Snickers colors this week, going to start alongside Denzel Washington. Quite a few alternate schemes. There's Billy Mays in his OxyClean car, and Woody Woodpecker actually in the Rent-A-Center colors. Then Mark Martin, he's going to line up next to Hank Hill. Rumor has it, I think it's confirmed. Yes, it's confirmed Hank Hill is moving to the 38 car next year, replacing Stephen George and teaming with Kathy Bates. Rounding out the top 10 will be Burt Reynolds and Ann Wilson. Then George Lazenby, last week's winner, will start alongside the master of suspense, Alfred Hitchcock. Two rookies, Ian Anderson and Marco Polo. Then Morgan Freeman, he's going to line up next to Sir Topham Hatt. Then Al Roker to the outside of John Cena, repping the hefty colors. And then a pair of Dodges, and Donald Fagen and Joe Biden. Harrison Ford, who was actually, I believe, the winner of this race last year in the Sharpie colors, he's going to line up next to Peter Perfect, who brings back the Turbo Terrific throwback once again. There's Iggy Koopa, he's going to line up next to Stephen Hawking. Then Crow is going to line up next to Ferris Bueller. And Walter White will line up next to Stephen George. Rounding out the top 30, Jeff Lynne, whose band ELO is putting out a new album this year. Just announced. He's lining up to the outside of Tony Stark. Now as we get outside the top 30, we see some big names. Geddy Lee is back here along with Al Capone, who at one time was a serious threat to the championship. He's back in 8th in points now. Your points leader, Bob Ross, will start next to David Land. Then Casper the Friendly Ghost will line up next to Woody Harrelson in row 18. Row 19 is Bela Fleck on the outside of Snoop Dogg.
Drivers, start your engines!
Then Brendan Gaughan lines up to the outside of Telly Savalas, still trying to get his first win this year. He won 3 times last year. Rounding out the field is defending series champion Richard Simmons. And starting shotgun on the field is Marty McFly. Sure to be an exciting race tonight. Frame rate's looking pretty good. Tom Jones, he's won once before. That was at Indy. Tom Hanks is, I want to say, 4 career wins. I could be wrong. He's won twice this year. He won twice last year. Atlanta is just a very similar track. That's where Tom Hanks has won at. That's similar to here. That was the season finale last year. Anyway, pace car dips down pit road. The Sprint 400 is about to get underway. Tom Jones and Tom Hanks lead us down. The green flag is out, and we are racing here at Kansas. Tom Jones will clear for the lead in the first corner. Tom Hanks trying to hold on the second, but Denzel Washington with a charge. Hank Hill looking to make it 3 wide. Billy Mays trying to get a run on the high side. And Hank Hill running in 5th. You can see farther back, there's a ton of action here. 3 wide. Oh! Cars diving down towards the apron, just like in last night's race. Big crash early on as somebody hits the apron. Brendan Gaughan's in the wall. Stephen George, Jeff Lynne, Tony Stark is all bent up. Crow looks like he was the reason. He was the cause. Ferris Bueller also damaged, but a questionable decision. So you can see he hit the apron early on. We had some fantastic racing, but oh no! There was a wreck further back, as we see that from the helicopter cam. Jeff Lynne got a piece of it. What happened to Ferris Bueller? That's not what I wanted. I wanted the camera. There we go. He tapped the wall. Oh, he hooked Jeff Lynne. Bob Ross with a slight bit of damage. Oh, that could be crucial. Brendan Gaughan out of the race already. And we got pit stops already. I got a feeling this might be a 3-stop race of last night's Melling Series races. Any indication. They came down only once, but it was around halfway on lap 20, like around lap 27. Fuel only. And Billy Mays grabs the lead. That's the power of OxyClean, I guess. That was a very clean pit stop for the 01. Hank Hill in the second. Harrison Ford in the third. Wow. That's a big shakeup early on. No, Iggy Koopa stayed out. Whoa, this is strategy. Where was Iggy Koopa? Oh, he was around mid-pack. Tony Stark also taking it behind the wall. Stark, it looks like, will be only running a part-time schedule next year after full-time for the past 2 weeks, for this year and last year. There's banged up Al Roker. There's Crow. Stephen George. Jeff Lynne finally getting out of his pit box. He's going to be a lap down. Probably slow as molasses. Morgan Freeman's on pit road. Oh, not a good points day for him. George. Well, Harrison Ford all the way up there. Could be good points day for him, but Bob Ross is 28th. Where's Marty McFly? He started last. He's in 31st, so it's already a good day for him. The reason why I wanted to point that out is last night we had a driver start last and work his way up to 14th at the checkered flag. It was David Dayton. Now, the interesting thing is Iggy Koopa's in the 15 car. Iggy Koopa is believed to be replacing Marty McFly in the 42 next year. And guess who seems a likely choice to be coming up to replace Iggy Koopa in the 15? That's right, David Dayton. Iggy Koopa has never won. The closest he came was probably Dover, the first Dover race earlier this year. The race that ended under caution, and he was the first back to the line, but he pitted, giving the win to Harrison Ford. So Iggy Koopa's your leader. Second place is Billy Mays. Third is Hank Hill. He's never won as well. Tom Jones in fourth. Harrison Ford in fifth. He's always a threat. And Kathy Bates, Burt Reynolds, George Lazenby, Walter White. Who's also, he might be retiring after this year. No wins. And Marco Polo. Marco Polo, his status in the air is, his stats for next season is up in the air. He might be moving teams. Green flag is out and we're underway. Jeff Lynne, a kind of slow start. That's going to somewhat hold up Hank Hill. No! What on earth? The caution is back out immediately. Caution out for no reason. This is odd. One of the oddest. Oh, and this is going to cause Iggy Koopa to pit, isn't it? Well, so much for that brilliant strategy call on the 15. Oh, dear Lord. Kathy Bates is pitting. Casper the Friendly Ghost. And Iggy Koopa can't even beat Kathy Bates out. What the heck? Well, this is free spots. This is gift wrap spots the movie. Well, this is gonna move. Who's gonna be? Donald Fagen and Joe Biden are gonna be in the top 10 because of this. Wow, that's interesting. As we're under caution again. Well, it's like the shortest caution period in history. I mean, the shortest green. Probably one of the. I don't even understand it. I'm hoping it does not happen again. Denzel Washington. He runs 11th. Now, despite having a good amount of wins in that 14 car, it's not sure if he's going to return. Woody Woodpecker is pretty. He's got a lot of job security at Woodpecker Racing. Getting his first 2 wins this year. Peter Perfect, well, yeah, I can't see him ever driving anything other than the 9 car. Is that freaking Melling sponsorship? That's a Melling logo. Of course it would be. Oh, what am I talking about? I'm the one who painted the car. Mark Martin in 14th. Mark Martin's run amicably this year. He's not in position to win the championship, and he's not in position to win that big race at Daytona. Two things that eluded him, but he's won twice this year. All Morgan Freeman's lap down now. This one's being, well, he won at Bristol, Michigan. It was Michigan and Bristol. Alfred Hitchcock in 15. That's your top 15. As there's Morgan Freeman. Jeff Lynn's gonna restart the race on the outside. Morgan Freeman, who's only, they're going to be on the inside. Those two are racing for position. If we get another quickie yellow, these two will get their lap back. As we take to the spectator cam for a hot minute, hoping and praying. Green flag is out, and this time we do not go immediately back yellow. Jeff Lynn is slow, but Morgan Freeman is not. He was hoping for that quickie yellow, and if we get it, he's back on the lead lap. Billy Mays, Hank Hill escaped from the field. Tom Jones, Harrison Ford trying to catch him. Burt Reynolds and Walter White and Marco Polo. Jeff Lynn is slow and is holding up most of the field. He's basically being a sieve at this point. But now he got caught high and he's going to get freight trained. Well, maybe it would be more guys getting by if Alfred Hitchcock wasn't so slow. As we see, he's falling, which is good. Bob Ross took up high. Oh, they're really close. They're 3 wide here. Almost 4 wide in spots. Oh, that's going to be... Ian Anderson bumps off the wall. Oh, we got more guys diving to the apron. 4 wide. Watch it. Iggy Koopa into Stephen Hawking. Caution is going to be out. Al Roker, Crow T Robot pits. Morgan Freeman comes off of turn 4. He's going to get his lap back. And Hank Hill is leading. Through all of this confusion, Hank Hill, your new race leader. At least Jeff Lynn is going to be bona fide on the inside this time by. Wow. Pace car driver just died. Oh, wait, no, because Morgan Freeman is getting his lap back. That's right. So he can stay at nearly full speed. Well, he was nearly full speed. There's the lapped car, I'm assuming, of Al Roker. Oh, damage to the 15. What has happened? Did he have it there? He did. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, he was the reason caution came out. As you can see, they were dived down to the apron. They're actually 4 wide here. Of course, he just skids and right into the wall. Not a good day for the 15 as more pit stops happen. Who's your leader off of pit road this time? Bye. Dude, did Tom Jones... I don't think Tom Jones and Burt Reynolds pitted. No, they did. Tom Jones, your new leader. And Stephen Hawking has pulled his car behind the wall. Oh, boy. Casper the Friendly Ghost is in 11th. The leader. Casper the Friendly Ghost. Playing strategy. In a second and final year in this 32 car. He's moving to the Red Bull team, opening up for Toyota. Toyota will be returning the Cup after a 2-year absence. Their last appearance in Cup was 2017. Going out with a bang in their last race as Martin Truex Jr. won the race and the championship. Al Roker, he runs in the 36th position. He's a lap down, only 35 on the lead lap. Tom Jones, he's in second. Burt Reynolds now in third. Hank Hill, Marco Polo. Could he be a rare rookie to win a race on speed? Harrison Ford, Walter White, George Lazenby, Billy Mays, and Alfred Hitchcock. Your top 10. Peter Perfect, Joe Biden, Donald Fagen, Ann Wilson's up here, and Tom Hanks make up your top 15. Harrison Ford still in a great points paying position. Would be taking the points lead away from Bob Ross, who is the last car on the lead lap. And that is big. Bob Ross has led the point standings this year for as long as I can remember. Probably since around like the 600 this year, which was the only win Bob Ross has had this season. Four lapped cars on the inside. Crow T Robot, a Pontiac leading a Chevy, a Dodge, another Chevy, two Fords, Pontiac, Ford, Pontiac, and then 5 Dodges. Green flag is out. Casper the Friendly Ghost leads us back, 50 laps left. Tom Jones in the second. Hank Hill is able to get to inside of the lap traffic. We switch to the spectator camera. Hank Hill already, he's making a move for second place. Going to the inside of teammate Tom Jones. Coming now off of the corner, Hank Hill has definitely got the advantage going into 3. And is able to keep the line. Very interesting, as we saw last night, the outside line in 3 and 4 was the way to go. Farther in the back, we see a lot of fluidity in the field. A lot of drivers able to change positions. Burt Reynolds got hung up on Al Roker, it looks like, having problems getting around him. Harrison Ford is up to 4th now. Passing teammate Marco Polo, but oh, here comes George Lazenby, last week's winner. He won 2 races in the first 7 races last year. He's trying to win 2 races in the last 7 this year. Actually, it'd be last 8. Hank Hill, your new leader, as Casper the Friendly Ghost falls 2 spots in 1 lap. The 2 Hat Trick Motorsports cars running 1-2, the 25 and the 5. The other one, Stephen Hawking, he's out of the race. Where is John Cena? Why don't I do the smart way to find that? He's running the last car on the lead lap in 35th. Where is Bob Ross? He's up to 27. holding on to his championship points lead, trying to at least. Going 3 wide at Kansas. Hank Hill still leading. He has never won. He won a Melling Series race, I think, last year, but this would be his 66th start in the Vernors Cup Series. In the prior 65, he has won 0 times. Harrison Ford. Oh man, he won 3 times last year. At Dover, Kansas, and Homestead. This year, how is he doing? He's only gotten the 1 win at the first Dover race. He's looking to get the Kansas back. He didn't get Homestead. He's up in the second, and he's trying to make a big statement about his championship chances. Tom Jones running the CarQuest scheme this weekend. Don't quote me on this, but this might have been the scheme he ran at Indianapolis when he got his only win. Harrison Ford flashes down low to the inside and will take the lead. 40 laps to go next time by. Now Tom Jones looking to see if he can get by Hank Hill. Look at this. Out of nowhere, the dodge of Alfred Hitchcock up to 4th. 43 sure looks like it's got a rocket ship tonight. Fastest lap this race has been by Burt Reynolds. He's around the 15th spot. Look at this. Peter Perfect in the top 10. Peter Perfect was leading the championship early in the year, but a mini slump has seen him drop points. He's old, but he's recovered. He's been running 4th. He's tied for 3rd, actually, with Morgan Freeman. He just does not have a win this year. So this is likely going to move him clear of, well, this will move him clear of Morgan Freeman. Oh, look at his teammate, Donald Fagen. He's in the 7th. Fagen nearly winning the championship last year. This year, he's just outside the top 20 points. He's missed 2 races, though. He's going for 6th. And the interesting thing is Alfred Hitchcock. He's 17th in points, but he's missed 4 races. The rate he's scoring points, I think, yes. Had he made those 4 starts, the rate he's been scoring points, he'd be the points leader. Hank Hill took the lead back, and now Harrison Ford will take it back as we're coming up on the lapped car of Jeff Lynne. If he knows what's good for him, he will get the heck out of the way. Alfred Hitchcock looks like he tried to get a run. There's 4 cars kind of right together. Alfred Hitchcock, did he just not get the preferred line that time by? That might have hurt him. Casper the Friendly Ghost is to slow way down. And can't quite get clear of the 55. Donald Fagen rockets past. So does Walter White. Here comes Tom Hanks. He won't be able to do it. Harrison Ford solo. There's Crow. He's the next lap car. As they dive into turn 1, Crow goes into turn 3. Sir Topham Hatt is now at the start-finish line as the leaders out of turn 2. That's their top of hat, I should say. It would be the last car on the lead lap, so that would be the first driver that are purely passing on just slower, not just more damaged. Where's Crow as he trundles along? He's definitely slower, but definitely not as slow as Jeff Lynn. Lynn will fall another lap down and Crow will likely pass Lynn before the race is over. 39 cars on track, 35 on the lead lap. Harrison Ford leads. Tom Jones now in second. Hank Hill and Alfred Hitchcock running third and fourth right up here. A third mini pack trying to catch them. The Dodge of Donald Fagen and the two Pontiacs of Walter White and Casper the Ghost for a vast assortment of drivers. You can see all the skid marks in turns 1 and 2. That has been the action spot this race. Thankfully, all those cars ended up hitting the safer barrier, which minimizes the difficulty of the impact. Interesting that there's safer barrier missing between turn 4 in the front and the start-finish line, but none between the start-finish line and turn 1. The backstretch, the only other portion of the outside wall that does not have the safer barrier installed. Also, the inside wall does not look like it's got the safer barrier at all. Car down pit road, it looked like that was Tom. No, that's Casper. These guys coming down the pit road with around 30 to go. That's a little under halfway, but seeing as when the pit stops. Ooh, that's going to be close for some of these guys, I think. As Donald Fagen has driven his way in the 4th place. Donald Fagen is a man on the mission. So is Alfred Hitchcock. New ruling that's going to be instituted. You'll hear it here first. And it's going to greatly help out guys like Donald Fagen and Alfred Hitchcock. Alfred Hitchcock, granted, he did miss the first race of the year, which did kind of hurt him. That procedure will be the same. It will still have Nobody is going to necessarily be locked into that. Well, a few drivers will. It'll be provisionals as pit stops begin. There'll be your normal provisionals and normal dual systems. Harrison Ford, I believe, yes, will lead this lap. Anyway, after that race, they'll switch to a top 35 system, in which the top 35 drivers and owners' points will be locked in. The rest will have to race their way in. This should prevent situations like Alfred Hitchcock having championship contending pace, but getting hurt in qualifying. Now your leader, Harrison Ford. These guys probably should be able to make it, because this was right at the window of being able to make it last night's race. So I think especially if you're pitting now, 25 to go, yeah, you're going to do it. Especially considering when you pitted earlier. Casper the Friendly Ghost take the lead? No, he did not. Harrison Ford. we jumped. Who was the leader? Tom Jones, I know, was leading. This is for position. He's listed as in 12th. So we got jumped. Tom Jones was jumped by Walter White. Harrison Ford was your leader. I think Casper the Friendly Ghost is going to end up being your leader. The undercut seems like the way to go. And Crow is not in a helpful spot. Casper the Friendly Ghost indeed takes the lead by over 3.5 seconds over Walter White. Tom Jones in the third. Geddy Lee up in the fourth. Alfred Hitchcock fifth. And Harrison Ford. Donald Fagen. Peter Perfect. Tom Hanks. And Snoop Dogg. Hank Hill back to 11. Bob Ross up to 17th. That is not what Harrison Ford wanted to see at all. Atal. Who is Atal? Oh, nearly close one. Geddy Lee is able. Oh, but Crow is going to fight back for no reason. There is literally zero reason. Crow is 3 laps down. And Mark Martin has gotten lapped now. Nice battle for second position going on here. Walter White hasn't won since the spring Richmond race last season. That was his only career win. Casper the Friendly Ghost sails by Jeff Lynne. Sets his sights on the next slowest car, which is John Cena. Several cars spread out. Gap is growing a bit. And this might be cruise mode for Casper the Friendly Ghost. Walter White trying to hold on to second. Very amicable result. No, nothing wrong with the second place finish. He did cut down over 1/3 of a second, nearly 4/10 that time by, but now he's got to get around Jeff Lynne. He got held up. This will allow Tom Jones to close in. Geddy Lee also here if he can dive to the inside at the... And he can. Good job. Harrison Ford, he's trying his hardest to win a championship. That's going to how much? Well, it's out to 3.5 seconds now. But I think we can safely say at this point, especially looking at Tom Jones, that Casper is a sitting duck. You can see as he hits the start-finish line, these guys are already well into the tri-oval. And they cut the gap by nearly 1/2 second. Walter White and Tom Jones are coming. They are chuffing along at a high rate of speed. Under 20 to go. At the line, it will be 17 laps to go. That's about 25 miles or so. As Tom Jones to the inside. It's not unusual to see passes like this from the 5. What's new? They cut down another 4/10 that time by. He is a sitting duck. They are going to catch him. Now Walter White with the toe. They didn't catch that much back this time. Just under 2.5. And this might be why. Because the 10 and the 5 are fighting it out for second. They're not quite working together like they were just a couple laps ago. And this will allow the gap that they will close in to shrink or even go backwards. As you can see once again, although they did jump in a lot that time by, Walter White just tried to make a pass for second, was not able to do so. That will probably hurt, as Tom Jones did not have the preferred lines through that corner, and thus will have a slower lap. Walter White once again goes to the inside. They cut in only less than a tenth. They were at a rate to catch him easily, and now they're not gonna catch him at this rate. Walter White, he is clear now. What an incredible battle for a second, but it could be a battle for the lead. Tom Jones, you know, they want it. In fact, that gap just grew this time by. And it's possible these guys could completely use up their tires trying to battle each other. Tom Jones is smart here. He's going to ride around behind Walter White, but not try to pass him. Not until Walter White is sniffing the back bumper of that 32. That would be the thing to do. As you can see, now that they weren't fighting, they were able to close back in, but not a whole lot. With 12 to go for Casper the Friendly Ghost, can he get his first career win? Harrison Ford into 4th place, as Bob Ross is down to 19th. Look who's right ahead of him, Marco Polo. That's a Rush Fender car. That's a teammate to Harrison Ford. You know if Bob Ross tries to pass, he's going to try and prevent it. The gap down to 1.87. I don't think it's going to be enough anymore. They've used up a lot of their tires trying to race with each other. Once again, Tom Jones foolishly goes to the inside. And they foolishly run side by side. For second place, while their chances of getting the larger target escape them, as there are 10 laps to go. There will be 9 this time by for Casper the Friendly Ghost. So you see the gap actually went down. So it seems to me Tom Jones is the faster car. So why is Walter White trying to make moves here? As you can see, the one thing that could allow Tom Jones to catch Casper the Friendly Ghost would be Harrison Ford battling with Walter White. But no, Walter White to the inside. They are closing though. 8 to go. Harrison Ford in the third now. It's a 3-car battle for second. Harrison Ford is probably the fastest. Yes, he is the fastest. A whole 8/10 faster than our leader that last time by. At the line. The gap down under a second. The chase is afoot. 7 laps to go. Tom Jones, Harrison Ford, side by side for third. Ford holds on and will pull out at least a whole car length. Walter White, very hungry. How hungry is he compared to Casper the Friendly Ghost? We're gonna see this time by the split. 7/10. The gap is closing. 6 laps to go. Now you gotta remember, catching him is one thing, passing him is another. If Harrison Ford I mean, not Harrison Ford, but if Walter White keeps it up, he should be able to lap him. Mark Martin is a lap car, and I don't. She's doing up here. The gap down under half a second. Walter White tried to run high to see if he can close in at a faster rate than he has been. We don't know for sure. Mark Martin gonna block for Harrison Ford. No, he's gonna block Harrison Ford. As Walter White down as Crow pits. Coming to 4 laps to go. Oh, this is gonna be a fuel mileage race. Walter White's your leader. Can anybody make it on fuel? We're not sure. A lot of the crew chiefs are panicking, seeing, can our driver save fuel? Oh, there was always the possibility. Walter White, he's gonna stay out. Maybe that's why Casper was so slow. He was trying to save fuel. Harrison Ford in second. There's Casper the Friendly Ghost, defeated outside of the top 30 after what looked like a race-winning strategy. Now coming to 2 to go. Bumper to bumper for the lead. Harrison Ford looking for his 5th career win. We'll dive it down. Coming to the final 3 miles. He's got a bumper alongside as they go into turn 1. Harrison Ford arcs it in the late race pass. No, here comes Walter White back on the outside. Mark Martin could play a factor. He's going high. He's trying to give the arrow push to Walter White and not his teammate. Walter White is back clear. Coming to the white flag. Mark Martin has just cost his teammate a chance at a win, I think. Stephen George pits. And now Mark Martin is going to go past Harrison Ford for no reason. There's going to be a meeting in the hauler after this race. Walter White. What a way to win it. Al Roker slow on the apron. Is he going to get in the way? No. Walter White has won the Sprint 400. In a brilliant chess match. Oh, Harrison Ford, he's going to finish second. How did Bob Ross do on field compared to the rest of the field? Bob Ross made it back up to 17th. I don't think that's going to be enough for Harrison Ford to take the points. Only 76? Oh, no, it's not good enough. Bob Ross will be your points leader another week. Possibly only one more week, as we know what's happening next time out. And that is, we're headed to Talladega. Snoop Dogg blows up after the race is over. What on earth? He did a whole additional lap. Maybe that's why. He was supposed to be down pit road and in his pit stall. Wow, talk about getting a motor that can do 67 laps, you know. What is going on? What a crazy day. People running out of fuel towards the end of the race. Al Roker actually retired right at the end of the race. We'll finish 36. Probably the pit stall teleportation. Oh, man. What a finish. What a race. What a crazy turn of events. Bob Ross is going to hang on to the points lead somehow. Harrison Ford is going to eat away massively. Mark Martin is going to get a stern talking to. It's possible Martin might just become a 500 only driver. I bet you, Geddy Lee is furious at what just happened. Geddy Lee, he got 5th. And one of his teammates got second. Walter White's the winner. But next weekend, this whole thing will flip on its lid. Everybody has a chance to win, regardless of where they're starting in the field. This is the perfect place for somebody to take command of the points lead, because it's the great equalizer next time by. They're heading to the Talladega Superspeedway for the Pepe Craftsman 500. As always, I've been announcer Western Caves. This has been a telecast of the Western Caves Sports Network. We'll see you next time out at Talladega, right here on WCSN. We hope you'll join us then.